Hello everyone, welcome to the LRC. Sorry for the delays, but immediately, let's get started. Note that the first few cars have been eliminated, and all the cars in this video, actually, if you don't see a time on a car, that means it got removed at the end, but that means it was also too slow. And if your car didn't show up, it was either too slow or I couldn't manage to clean up. Anyways, this is Barney, meet Barney. It's really bad. Really bad. Drives like a drift car. I mean, look at that. Nice moves. Go. Next, the Marquis Alicanto Lowrider by Maverick 74. Yeah, the positions on the first few cars are all messed up because I can't tell who got where. But I actually really like this car. But it really needs a different transmission. That sort of ruins it. And it looks really cool too. I'm just not a huge fan of road gliders. But it is cool. Just drives a lot like a drift car. It just, and man, I wish this hadn't had an automatic. That would be so much better. I mean, look at that. Look at how slidey it is. If it had a manual, I could more properly control it. But it doesn't, so I have to deal with it. Next time, learn. I don't like automatics. Next, the Rein Vertaaltopless by IDK 158. It's a Beetle. This feels more like a car out of the slow than the LRC, but it's functional, I guess. It isn't. It barely moves. I think they set the slowest time or the second slowest time. I don't know though, because BMG deleted the time. But it's a Beetle, sort of fun. I can see myself driving this again just to test out my wheel to see if it's working or not. But yeah, I went almost flat for the whole lap. You can see me actually drifting a bit because I was trying to push it. But it's still a Beetle, so you can't get very far with that. Next, the Linea Vitale Casutier, whatever that is, Racta. Yeah, just take a look. It's awful. Doesn't look very good either, because it's, well, not a convertible. But it doesn't function. I was about to say it functions, but it doesn't. It's undrivable. Nearly undrivable, at least. I don't think I was able to manage a clean lap in it. Actually, I did. Well, depends what you call a clean lap. This lap wasn't exactly clean. I almost flipped the car, but which caused me to cut the entire corner. But it carved. Next, the Old Man Scimitar Redwood. Let's appreciate this launch for a drag car. Truly incredible launch. This is the drag car of all time. It goes so fast. But in all seriousness, wow, this is really bad. These tires, man. These tires, I hate them. It has no grip. I'm sure this car would have been okay. I mean, it would still need a different gearbox, but if it had different tires, it would make a huge difference. But yeah, I don't think that would be enough to fix it. Different gearbox, different tires. I mean, 2-speed won't get you very far. Next, the Sinister Ganta build. First car of the time, a 128.5. Yeah, I completely forgot about how this car drives. But I remember it not being very good. Well, not bad per se, but it wasn't good either because it's boring. And I hate boring. I hate boring, guys. It's so boring. Anyways, yeah, it functioned as a car. You can see me hitting a code there because I was trying to push it, and this thing is huge and very difficult to predict where the steering is due to the weight. But it functioned, so it could get around the track pretty easily. It's good to just put reconnaissance laps in, I guess. Next, the XP1. I'm not going to try to say what that name is because I cannot pronounce that. Anyways, I don't remember much about this car either. Note that the first few eliminated cars are sort of forgettable because, well, they got eliminated. They're slow. But It was actually 6 seconds faster than the previous car, so that's quite a difference. I think it looks really cool, to be honest. It's a bit slidey due to a rear engine. You can see me sliding it a bit. But, yeah, I think it looks really cool for a communist car. But it's, I mean, communist. Russia wasn't communist anymore. But, I think it looks cool. It does its job. Next, the Vercruz Luxury in America's overly long name, which I couldn't write down. Do not translate Pillow to English, please. Just don't. But I think this is sick, man. It's not very good driving car. It's not special or fast. But you can see me drifting it to the extreme, just having fun in it. So that's good, I guess. Although it seems like it has an open diff if I watch from the outside. I didn't really notice that while driving. But it does a fan. And it functions. Goes around the track pretty easily. Well, too. Next, the Fowler Baltimore 360 Go, which seems to have an automatic too. And again, I hate automatics. But it's very similar to the Sinistra in terms of what I have to say about it. It's not very exciting or fast. Or yeah, anything really. It's sort of cars, but it's 8 seconds a lap faster. And it looks very similar too. So all you can say is Sinistra, which is way faster, but I don't think it looks as well, so it only gets a 7 instead of an 8. But looks good, just not a fan of the color, and well, yeah, something just doesn't work. Next, the Aero Ki? Is it Ki? Or is it Ki? I'll just go K. Penultimate edition. For a penultimate edition, I'll be honest, this car doesn't feel very good. Well, it feels good. It drives well. But, my god. The steering. This is some of the worst thing I've ever felt in a car. It tries to break your arms. So I don't recommend anyone with a wheel to drive this, since it'll constantly clip essentially. But it's fun. It's not fast though, it's only barely faster than the last car. But it works well as a Kai car. Or Kai car? Hey car. Anyways, here's the bus. The bus? It is the bus. Come on, where's the bus? It's a glow bus. You gotta make it a bus, man. I'm not giving you I'm banning you from the next 3 challenges if you don't enter a bus in the name Glow Bus. Come on, you gotta make it glow too. Anyways, I'm saying all of this because I have absolutely nothing to say about this car. It's incredibly boring. It doesn't really give me anything, any special feelings. It just doesn't really work that well. But with some practice, I get used to it. Plus, it's only barely faster than a K car, so that's not particularly impressive. Next, ChatGPT's Radia Raw Rocker. I almost considered disqualifying this car because it's extremely similar to the other Raw Rocker. But yeah, there was nothing wrong with it, so I just allowed it. And I'll say this thing is way too short for a rear-wheel drive car, I suspect. It's way too oversteering, extremely unstable. Power band is terrible, but it's fun, and that's good enough for me. Good job, Chappie. It's a lot better than your previous challenge cars. But yeah, nothing special really. I'm not a huge fan of the styling, so that's why it's only a 6. Next, another ChatGPT car, the Retro Rider GT. This car actually drives really well. Yeah, I mean not well, otherwise it would be way higher up. But it drives nice. Problem is, it looks a lot worse than it drives. So that's probably the main problem. I mean, I don't think I have to explain why it looks so badly and why I give it a 3. But come on, ChatGPT. Have you ever heard of how to design a car? I don't think it has, because come on. I don't think the rear is half bad, but the front and the side, it's so bad. But it looks, yeah, you'll get used to it. Next, the WN Wellen 3.0 convertible. yeah, I don't really have much to say about it. It's not particularly good. It don't doesn't look super good, though it does work for the time period. And it, to be honest, it drives like crap. It's not great. I mean, crap is a bit of an overstatement. It's more the steering is a very oversensitive, so you have to be very careful with it. You can't just my driving style doesn't really work with it. I'm someone who turns a lot into corners, but this car, if you turn too much, it just does a 360 or something similar, which is very annoying and not for me. But it does the job, gets around the track easily. Next, I have some poetry for you. What the hell? Oh my god, no way, yeah, yeah, yeah. Jordan never did that move, man. He never did that move. Get your fake ass out of here with those Jordans. Anyways, that was some poetry for you. But the Lobotomy 11 is a car I would like to never drive again. It's fast, because, well, it only weighs 500 kilograms. So it goes around the corner, but look at how oversensitive this. I had to constantly correct it, and the wheelies and such is extremely difficult to control. So, yeah, and styling, I don't know. Come on, it's a shoe. How am I supposed to rate it? Next, Buck American Sport Max. That's the whole name. No spaces. Anyways, yeah, not much to say about this one either. It was one of the first cars I drove, but it wasn't particularly good, particularly bad. Suspension was not great, too soft, and the open diff caused some issues with the corner exit. But since this is a converted slow car, I'm pretty impressed both on styling and driving, so it got a 7 for that reason. Although, do note, it's almost an entirely different car, since it uses an entirely different body, very different styling, different engine, such and such. But yeah, it wasn't too bad really. Next, the Aaron Stella Butt. Or what? Butt. Dot. Dot. Okay. It's decent, I guess. It's, to be honest, it didn't really make an impact on me. It's not bad, no. It's drivable. It's, yeah. It's really hard to explain. It's not really, I can't really remember. This was one of the cars that was the most forgettable, to be honest. It's not slow or anything. I mean, not particularly fast, but it's not particularly slow either. So, yeah, it's sort of midfield. It's not great. It's not. How do you explain it? This car is just forgettable, man. It's not great. Next, the Swanson 270 PTO, which is destroying my ears for some reason. Yeah, another car which I can't say much about. It's just the steering is way too heavy. Came to the Kai, or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, it's fun. It's definitely faster than the Kai. It sort of reminds me of it, especially due to the styling and the color and such. But yeah, I really like the styling on this car. The wheels are a bit weird for the era, and it looks a bit too modern. But yeah, just look at how angular it is. That's something I really like about this. Just yeah, not overly special though. Next, the Saarland Adjunct. How am I supposed to say this name? I call it the Saarland Adjunct ES16 Cabrio. Yeah, extremely boring. Don't have much to say about it. It just goes around the track. It's not overly special or anything. It's, yeah. It's another one of those cars which you just can't remember very well. The steering wasn't very good. The handling wasn't very good. I was able to push it pretty well. But that doesn't say much. Being able to push a car around the track is different from it actually being fast or good. So, yeah, I think main problem is probably power, or it's too easy to drive. Next, the Ryanair Rocker C. It's not the C. I completely forgot to remove the C there. But it's the Ryanair Rocker. Just listen to me. To be honest, it feels worse than the ChatGPT version. It's definitely faster, but it doesn't feel as good. It's way harder to drive. It feels far more aggressive, too aggressive for me. Makes it difficult for me to control, especially on corner entry. Like a lot of the cars, actually. A lot of the cars had issues with corner entry, I realized. Especially this one. This one was on the worst end of it. Probably in the top 3 of the worst ones on the corner entry. But it was fun. If you get used to it, it's really fun. So that's cool. Next, the long face car. The Bladed Motorworks DD1. The more I look at it, the more I get used to it, but I'm still not a fan of the design. I mean, look at how long that front end is, or just the proportions don't really work, if you get what I mean. And the taillights also don't really fit on this era of car. But yeah, that's why it has a 4. But there's some things I like about it though. But the car drives not great either. The main problem is the automatic transmission. You stay in second essentially for the whole track, because that's yeah, gearing is just awful. The diff too doesn't shift, doesn't go forward. Next, the Vostek Pocket Rocket CC. Yeah, I don't think it gets much more death trap than this when it comes to serious, or actually is a serious car, I don't know. But it's not Barney, so I'll call it a serious car at that end of things. But yeah, it's not great or anything. It's just very undrivable, especially on quarter exit, especially in this quarter. It took me a really long time before I could actually get around the corner cleanly. But when it comes to styling, I'm not a huge fan. I mean, it's not awful or anything, but it's not good either, at least in my opinion. I can see the novelty of it, but the front just doesn't work for me. I'm sorry. Next, the VMS. The what? The Planane? Did I write it correctly? No, it's the Planane. I miswrote that. Sorry. I'll fix that in the final version of the video. Anyways, yeah, this car doesn't feel very good. It's fun though, but it's not good. It feels like you're actually driving on gravel. There's zero grip at all. I really like it because I love rallying, but you can see me drifting around all over the place, which tells you enough about how it drives. I think it looks really cool, but yeah, it's not a Group B car. You're not going to convince me that this is a Group B car. Next, the Ilaris Imbis Sport S Convertible. Another convertible car. Corvettable? Forgettable. Nothing overly special going on. I think it looks like a Ute. I'm not a huge fan of the color. That's why it has a 7. It's not, doesn't feel like a convertible. But it works. So gets around the track decently fast, though it was just off of making it into the non-eliminated section. But not much to say really. It's probably one of the most average cars here, on the probably similar level of averageness to the Aeron Dud. Next, the Lightning Garage LJ5 by CH Flash. Yes, CH Flash. Flash. Oh, anyways, I don't know why I said that. I'm very tired. It's very late at night. Anyways, this car is really fun. I love it. That's sort of all there's to say to this, and I am very sad that it didn't make it through. But it's fun to drive. It looks really good. Fun, actually. It looks fun. Maybe not particularly good, but it looks very fun, and I would definitely like to own one in real life. Problem is, it doesn't exist, which is sad. Next, the Roadburners Right Stuff, which I think was the only... No, never mind. It's a plate. Simple as that. It surprised me how it doesn't go up in the sky and fly. But yeah, if you strap wings to yourself and jump off of a bridge, you won't fly either. So they have to note that when you're making a car next time. Make sure to actually give it some lift. But this is another one of those forgettable cars. It's not bad. It's not good either, though. It's not particularly... yeah, memorable, really. That's something that I can say about a lot of the cars. Suspension may have to do with the suspension tuning of these cars, but I honestly couldn't tell you. Next, and the final car of this video, the Ragnarok Pursuit. And I am gutted that this didn't make it through, because this is one of the most fun cars I've ever driven. Although I did wish it had ABS. But I'll let you appreciate the driftiness of it, because that's why I love it so much. It surprised me how fast it was with all the drifting, but it's drivable, very actually. If you just keep the throttle down, it's completely controllable. The steering is very lenient, so I enjoy that part of it. And I think it looks really cool too, sort of Australian look. And yeah, yes, it just works for me. It's the perfect car for me. Promises it's fast. So here's the list of all the cars that have been eliminated, and you can see which cars I was unable to set a clean lap in, or were too uninteresting, or yeah, were just too slow. You can see those without the time at the bottom, and all the other cars. Um, yeah. Thanks for watching. I'd say still have some editing to do after this, but still, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time at the actual first round, where we'll be seeing the non-eliminated cars, such as, well, Wallaroo and others. See you then. Goodbye. I think.